And away we go with episode 72 of Schnozzcast for Saturday, May 9th, 2020. Hope everybody out there is doing well. Let's introduce our players, shall we? We're going to go clockwise from the top left on my screen. So is Danielle Finn.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Excellent. And then we have one Nicholas Q. Bader.
How's it going, everybody?
And below him on the Brady Bunch board is Mr. Cory.
Oh, hey.
That was loud.
Good.
That was very loud. Yeah, don't do that again. And then we have, let's leave the special guest for last. We have Mr. Joseph Guido sitting in his cozy cabin somewhere. And he's frozen. Okay, so we're moving on to our special guest, Mr. Dr. Phil Anton. Hello, Dr. Phil.
Hello.
Right. This is an audio podcast as well, so long stretches of silence.
Oh, you need me to speak. I see. Well, if you're going to need my input, you should have told me that when I signed the contract.
That contract is non-binding, sir.
All right. That was just a napkin and some crayons.
It's like a set of Jimmy lyrics.
Some pretty good writing for crayons, I must say.
All right, so let's get into some housekeeping. Hopefully everybody out there is doing well. We are in week number 114th of the pandemic, in which we were doing a Zoom session, and everybody is remote. So, but sound quality hasn't been bad. And as far as housekeeping goes, we have a new episode up on YouTube as of last 24 hours or so. There'll be a new audio episode up on iTunes, Spotify, Mixcloud, Google Play Music, Stitcher, everywhere where you can get your podcast fix from. And please don't forget to give us a rating and a review. Subscribe if you can. If you're going out for a walk, taking your dogs out to the park, bring your headphones and listen to the Schnozzcast. Nick Bader, what else could they do to listen to the podcast during this social distancing time?
They could go for a run, or they could cut their grass. They could weed the driveway. They could do some vacuuming. No one likes to hear just the vacuum. Unless you have a Roomba, then you like to hear it because so you know it's working. But what else could you do? You could tend to the sheep in the backyard.
Ooh. Speaking of sheep, let's go down to the bottom of the board. Dr. Phil Anton, what do you think that folks could do to listen to the podcast during their daily routine?
Well, I do have a flock of sheep up in Nashua that I tend to from time to time. But what I like to do when I'm listening to the podcast is to try to buy time. When I can't think of anything clever to say, I listen to the podcast, and then that buys me the time necessary to be able to say something clever on the podcast.
Do you get the clever thing from the podcast, or you just think of it?
Yeah. That's where I draw my ideas from, and thus I'm able to say clever things in my daily function just by listening to the podcast constantly. I have it on all the time. Like I have this little set of headphones you can't hear, podcast playing all the time. So I always have something to talk about because you guys, I mean, come on. You're the driving force. You're the driving force in my brain.
Question. When someone is trying to talk to you then and you're biding time, what's the general move? Do they get the hand? Do they get a 1 second? How do you usually let them know?
Usually I just stare at them kind of like this, and then I nod and continue nodding until something sparks, until one of you says something that's reasonably clever, and then I will say, baby's bottom, and then we've got it.
So what's the longest you've ever waited for that clever thing to come out?
Oh,
what episode?
26 minutes. I don't know. I mean,
about 5 episodes.
That's the longest. I mean, normally it's usually about 10 to 15 minutes.
Gotcha. I need some cheering up now. So let's go to some good news. Oh, by the way, just to close out the housekeeping, let me find it here. It's today's date. Oh, there we go. So as of this week, Apple has made some improvements in Apple Podcasts. So if you're a subscriber who's living outside the U.S., Apple Podcasts, including the Schnozzcast, is now available in over 100 languages in 20 additional territories throughout Asia, PAC, Africa, Europe, Latin America, the Middle East, and Oceania. I'm just gonna keep saying that until I get it right.
There goes that demographic.
All right, so Joe, would you like to hear which?
Made up.
Would you like to hear which countries we're now available in?
Sure.
Afghanistan, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Gabon, Georgia, Iraq, Kosovo, Libya, Maldives, Montenegro, Morocco, Myanmar, Nauru, Rwanda, Serbia, Tonga, Vanuatu, and Zambia.
Burma?
Yeah, it's Burma.
I've been Burma.
No, Burma.
It'll always be Burma to me.
Almost
Right.
There's
right.
3 of us.
Thank you.
You may know it as Myanmar, but it'll always be Burma to me.
Burma to me.
And that's it for housekeeping for this week.
Now you got to put up with 3 of us, Bob.
No, that's fine. It's not me that's bothering in any way. It's probably more Mr. Selesky. Because all I can imagine when you're saying those things is canned laughter in the background, and that really pisses him off.
What are they talking about?
Stupid laugh tracks.
Exactly. All right.
Which
So
Seinfeld? I've never heard of.
Go ahead, Cory.
There is a channel on YouTube I found that redoes all these Seinfeld episodes, and they have removed the laugh tracks.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, it's phenomenal.
So you've watched some Seinfeld episodes then?
I actually have. Only like 1 or 2 of the first ones, so not too deep in yet, but there is a noticeable difference, to me at least, and it is actually funnier without the laugh track.
All right.
I'll take it however you can get it then. All right. How about some booze news, folks? Some good news around the world. Let's start. Let's start with change.org. Has anybody ever been to change.org before?
Yes.
Underwear website?
Yes, they
Oh.
traffic and use
It's
underwear.
a diapers website.
Well, that's underwear for the small crowd.
Oh.
Well, yes, diapers, underwear, it's the same thing.
That's
It
all.
just
Yeah,
depends
it's
on your age demographic.
a matter of size.
There's another demographic you guys have just lost. Correct.
So,
Yeah.
so if you've never been to change.org, it's a website where you can create a petition for something to happen. And so if you are on the side of prisoners in state prisons, and you think that during this time of the virus, we should just release all the prisoners, and you're having a hard time bringing people around to your way of thinking, you can go to change.org and you can create a petition to do just that. Seems to me that all the petitions that are here are essentially, they all have a goal where you can go digitally and onto the website and you can agree that, oh, that's a good idea. I think I'm going to sign that petition to reach their goal. What happens when they get to the goal is kind of unclear to me. They do break it down into like sections of, there's a section with like recent petitions, and then there's another section with successful or victorious petitions in which they actually affected some kind of a change. But apparently anybody can go and create a petition. So there's a bunch of, so you've got a lot of highbrow petitions that have been submitted, right? Like vote to remove a particular law from Congress and Senate because, I think it's violating our constitutional rights, and they might get, hundreds and hundreds of digital signatures for that. And maybe it'll actually affect some kind of change. Then you got other petitions where somebody submitted a petition to bring down Old Herbie. Apparently in the Husker Nation in Nebraska, Old Herbie is like weird looking cowboy with a red hat who's up and or has been gone, and now he needs to come back. And as a fan base, they need to accomplish that. And so there's a petition with 8 people who have agreed. But what happens when they get to 100? Don't really know. Don't know if anybody's watching, if anybody cares.
So you're saying in theory, technically, we should let all the prisoners go during this time. Once it hits that mark of 100,000 signatures, they're like, well, shit. Guess we got to let them out. Open up the gates.
That would be bizarre. I think when you...
The public says so.
That's right.
I think when you create the petition, you can state at the end, like...
what occurs?
Well, who's supposed to get notified that this has happened, right? So you might want to have notify City Hall if you wanted to change to say, oh, I would like all robins and bluebirds to be destroyed in my city. And if I get 100 signatures on my digital petition, then I'm going to make sure the City Hall knows I got 100 people. This is how many people agree with me, and I think you should listen to us.
Getting all the
say something here?
Yeah, that would never fly.
Yes.
Can I say something here?
Yes, sir.
I just want to let you guys know that I have now just started a petition on change.org to have Schnozzcast removed from the internet. And I've already got 870 signatures just in 5 minutes.
What was your goal?
Wait a minute. 871 will be right behind you. Hold on.
What was your goal? Was your goal 100? No, I don't care if you've already reached your goal. I totally agree with that.
No, 50 was my goal. I thought that was being optimistic.
Well, thanks, Phil.
Some of the other petitions that are out there, someone submitted a petition to change the U.S. national anthem to Imagine by John Lennon.
Yes, I did see that one.
Yep. Somebody submitted a petition to tell Disney to remove the sequel trilogy from Star Wars.
No,
and there's only 100. The goal is only 100. So apparently when they get to 100, they're going to send this to George Lucas, send it to Disney, and go, this is what we expect to happen.
And he'll whip his ass with it and throw it in the trash, and nobody will give a shit.
Somebody
time. This is oh my God.
Somebody in a neighborhood. They don't say where. They don't say what neighborhood, but they submit a petition to remove golf carts from their neighborhood. We as a neighborhood have decided to come together and fight against having golf carts in our neighborhood. We don't like people to be able to drive around the neighborhood golf carts all the time. Even though we're a golfing community, that is not fair. We have people who don't like to golf who still like to live on a golf course. We're in the city limits.
And enjoy the speed and comfort of a golf cart? Yeah.
No, that's horseshit, they say. Nope.
Luxurious.
Yeah. And by the way, there's people under 16 driving these golf carts around. We don't like that. We think you should get rid of it. They don't even say what city they're in. They're just like, nope, we need 100 signatures. Sign and join our fight. But the surprising part is they already have 82 signatures. So,
yes.
And the last one of note that caught my eye was save Kingston from his boredom. Who is Kingston, you may ask? I'm glad you asked me that question. Kingston is a cat.
Oh.
Kingston is left to socialize with the humans. He sleeps in corners and meows, staring at the door, dreaming of the world outside and the cat that he once saw in the window. He seems lonely, and he comes to his owners for attention in between naps. But if you look at his gorgeous blue eyes, it becomes apparent that something is missing. A companion.
Bob, are you reading this right now?
Yes, I am. This is verbatim.
Okay, good, because it sounded like you were reading it, which I was hoping you were, because if that's the way you were reciting it,
yeah,
that's
with
weird.
Enthusiasm.
That's the magic of Zoom, sir. I brought that to life, though, didn't I?
Yeah.
You did.
It was though we were all there. It was though
there's actually a cartoon tree above his head with some sort of pamphlet on it that he's reading all this stuff from.
I need to have that.
Nice.
Joe, find that for me.
Good to know.
What's that?
Cartoon tree. Never mind. It's fine.
Just Google cartoon tree, Mr. Guido.
Yes.
Yeah.
Moving on. One more positive news story. There is a website on Vimeo. Well, there's a site called Vimeo. If you're not familiar with it, they do a lot of videos that are user curated and created. They have a site called Stories in Place that you can Google and you can find it. It's something where people that regularly submit videos to Vimeo were handpicked by the Vimeo staff to create short videos in a span of like a couple of weeks And so there's 8 up there that they have right now. And these are kind of video stories of real people that are trying to make their businesses work during the pandemic. People who own Taiwanese restaurants in New York City, one guy who owns an LA bike shop, someone who's got a dance studio who was forced to take it online, somebody diving for sea urchins until his business was ground to a halt because of COVID-19. So if you like like John Krasinski, Some Good News type of video segments that come out weekly, this might be a good thing if you're looking for something to watch. Stories in Place on Vimeo, some heartwarming tales. And the last one I've got here is kind of ties into something that I did personally, which was Jack had his graduation parade on Friday. So like a lot of other high school seniors who are graduating this year, he didn't get to walk. It's basically, one day we're like, hey, that's it. Everything's done. So yeah, exactly. So they organized a thing where, hey kids, paint your cars. We're going to meet around the school, cooperation of the police department to block off the streets, and all the parents show up and they kind of line the streets doing social distancing with masks and whatnot. And everybody kind of gets to slow roll down the street and get some sort of a communal thing going where they have some kind of closure. I think they are actually going to walk and have the graduation like mid to late summer along with the prom, but at least for now, give them something like that to close out the school year, which I thought was kind of cool.
That sounds like Friday night in my hometown when I was in high school, except for the police cooperation.
The police were involved. They just weren't cooperating.
They just were not cooperating. Yeah.
I'm going to cook breakfast for everybody.
There is it's not change.org.
We'll do that.
There's a lot of websites out there that I didn't realize this that are it's like a whole category of websites now where they're doing like you can do adopt a high school senior where parents will post pictures about their senior that's graduating, like their pictures and the accolades from their scholastic career, and you can donate to them in the form of what it could be like gift baskets, gift cards, just congratulations, maybe some stuff for a dorm room if they're going to college in the fall. And I was reading the story and thinking to myself, I don't know why people would ever do anything like that before you donated to people who actually needed it, because it seems to me that graduating high school seniors are probably not the neediest of folks in the community these days. And I couldn't figure out why anybody would be doing that at all. But
it's a feel good thing, and they can videotape it and and record it and put it on social media.
But it falls under that kind of. This is the kind of thing that I thought that Joe Guido would jump all over.
Yeah, like, I can't believe there was a semi.
I did calm
response to that.
What?
I said I did, but it was calm.
Oh, okay.
Like, they missed their last season of whatever. So what? Unless you were going to play in college, who cares? So you missed a season. Go play pickup somewhere when you get to college.
That's what I was expecting.
Well, I don't know if any high school senior is videotaping anything.
You get what I mean.
Big old camera on the shoulder.
Right.
Oh, guys, I'm out of VHS.
Those hipsters, they love their vinyl and they love their old school camcorders.
It's making a comeback. You'll see those giant camcorders on everyone's shoulder in the next few years.
Yeah.
Those are nice.
My grandpa's.
Yeah, exactly. So that's who's news for the week.
Dude, this woe is me crap. I stop already. You're alive. You're healthy. Move on.
That's why I say that one for the end. I'm like, Joe is going to shit on this like nobody's business.
Well, that was calm me.
I know. Kind of disappointed. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yes, I don't want to hear it anymore. There's more, shit going on than.
Are you saying that you've let your tolerance lax? Like you're more tolerant now of things that piss you off?
I don't think that's the case.
Joe, come on. State ain't so.
No, it's not so. I said I behaved myself tonight, and I'm behaving myself. So.
Okay. All right. Just for the record, no one asked you to behave yourself.
Well, no, I told you guys I would because those people might be listening.
Those people. Oh,
The people.
the people.
That's why I have this cozy cabin Christmas thing going on here. Oh, this seems like a solid guy. What a guy. Look at that.
Yeah.
Little sleeping dog over his left shoulder.
I was on the fence about that Schnozzcast, but then I saw that guy sitting in that woodsy cabin in wintertime.
Genuine.
Who's that one guy drinking a scotch who's seasonally confused?
Ginger.
It did snow yesterday, so
The guys with the little jacket are going to be coming soon.
who's laughing now, Nick
Exactly.
Bader?
I was confused by the seasons with all the snow flying yesterday. I'm like, is it spring?
Right.
What's going on here? I refilled my snow blower. I was ready, but then it stopped. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
I had to run all the gas out again and
Running the gas out.
of the snow blower.
Aw, puppy.
Oh, I was hoping there was a picture of a toilet. I'm like, what are we looking at? Oh, that's a dog. You have multiple dogs, don't you? Are they social distancing? Are you? Oh, okay. Dog retrieval.
Does Phil keep his dogs on a leash even when they're in the house?
I don't know what that is.
It looks like a leash.
Hey, buddy, listen, blink twice if you're on a leash.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, what? Phil?
Maybe that's how his dogs roll.
That's the timeout bed.
Put your leash on. Go to the timeout bed.
Just a reminder, we are an audio podcast for the people that can't see.
Yeah, exactly. So Phil has just gone to retrieve some dogs, but he's panned his camera down from his perch down to the dog bed on the floor, in which one of his many
Beagles
was wearing a leash for no reason in the house.
Yeah, Phil, we have to have a conversation here. Why?
Sorry, we're going to be we're narrating. There's a dog on the floor. Is that a dog bed or is that like a sandbox?
That's my bed. Shut up.
Is that some kind of
I sleep there.
is that some kind of canine twister mat? What was on that bed?
Oh,
Oh no, that's it's called a quilt, I think.
Okay.
hey, Blake.
Made by my mother-in-law. So watch it, mister.
The question is, why is your dog wearing a leash in the house?
Oh, because I was out for a walk with her before I came down here, and then I forgot to take it off, and she laid down in the bed, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to disturb her. So she's just laying there. Plus, she has actually been on the leash quite a bit lately because she is currently in heat. And so this guy right here, he is doesn't have any bullets in the chamber, but his gun still works. So it has been a nonstop, like, circular merry-go-round of let's just say that the train to Humpsville Station has been in full bloom, so to speak. So
Train is in bloom. Got it.
Your state lets animals carry firearms?
yes.
Dogs got a gun. Cats got a gun. No,
So speaking of dogs getting into things and being making a little bit of a mess, my quick little news story to add here to the Booze News segment. I was reading through some of the awkward family photo posts of weird things that have happened to people. And one of them was titled, there was 30 entries, and it was just called "Oops, I Pooped My Pants." And the one entry that got me pretty good was number 28, and it was, I had just gotten home from eating buffalo chicken fingers at a restaurant. I was in the kitchen talking to my mom when I felt a gurgle in my stomach. I let out what I thought would be a fart, but actually sharted in my pants. I waddled up the stairs to take off my shit-filled underwear and clean myself. I get out of the shower and hear my mom scream. The dog had gotten into the bag with my shit-filled underwear and had dragged them all around the house, tossing them about.
Nice.
It's a mess. He had brown stains on his mouth for days.
So I have to imagine this probably wasn't a 3-year-old.
No, and that was also submitted by Kimberly Z. So if that was a female that did that,
a woman.
Very
wow.
nice.
I don't know why your mind automatically assumes it's a man, but you
Grown
do.
people don't accidentally poop
Yeah.
their pants.
You just do.
Well, and that's what really got me was getting to the end of it. I'm thinking, oh, this is obviously a guy, and then reading Kimberly Z.
For
I got
the
an extra chuckle out of that.
For the audio listeners, if you couldn't see or you missed it, you ever see an excited kid waiting in line for Santa and they have that like sparkle and that smile on their face? That's how Joe looked during the poop story.
Yeah, I knew where that was going.
Joe loves himself a good poop story.
He was like, finally.
No, it's because I was told that nobody over the age of 4 has ever shit their pants accidentally or right
On purpose.
It happened. Yo, that's disgusting. I never shit my pants. No way.
No, hold on. Your contention was that all people have shit their pants.
I think they haven't.
All of you have shit your pants, you said. And we said no.
No.
I think it might just be you.
It happens. I'm not saying I was like, you know what? I have to crap. The bathroom's all the way across the room. I'm just going to shit in my pants. That's not what I'm saying. Fart and something happens. And it doesn't have to be a full load. A little bit is shitting your pants. Period.
Phil, would you like to weigh in? Several episodes
ago. This is like the third or fourth episode in a row that we've been talking about something related
such a good
topic.
So yeah, several episodes ago, Joe brought up, that grown people tend to shit their pants. What's your feeling on that? Where do you stand?
Well, I think it definitely happens. But I was going to ask Bob if he remembers when didn't you and your ex-wife meet me, Brett, Lisa, and my younger brother Matt? We were on our way to Cedar Point, and we met somewhere. We had Mexican food for dinner, and then we went to like some miniature golf go-kart place, and we got to laughing so hard that my younger brother shit his pants. And like, I don't think it didn't come out until like much later, but he told me what had happened.
Oh, okay.
And
when you say didn't come out until much later, I'm like shitting your pants.
Story, yes.
See?
Wow. Yeah. No, I had no idea.
Yeah, I mean, he was a fully grown adult at that time.
There you go.
In full control of his bowels most of the time.
I was going to say, clearly not full control.
Yeah. And there were exceptions to the rule.
I hope this was on the 18th hole.
I don't
think
think
on the
so. I think it was
second
in the middle because he suddenly ran off to go to the bathroom, and then he came back, and that's when he relayed the story of having to rid himself of his underwear.
They having to finish around with shit-filled underwear. That's got to be tough.
He did finish the round. That's the type of commitment that Antons have to the situation.
I'm good. It's fine. I'll finish.
So, Bob, we are 32 minutes in.
Holy hell!
And
you know what that means?
All that talk about pooping, we lost track of time.
Yeah. Time for a shot, Mr. Anton, Dr. Anton. If you're, I don't know if you're drinking some booze right now.
I have bourbon in my glass, sir.
All right. So probably shot wouldn't apply to you.
It's not purely a shot, but it is a shot worthy beverage.
Yeah, sure. So while I go grab something for myself, let's say the Industrial Revolution. Go. Trying to give you something to talk about while I go get a Industrial Revolution.
Industrial Revolution. That's a good topic, Bob.
Go.
You're supposed to say talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I was.
Pick a topic for us.
Yeah.
The Roman aqueducts. What were your thoughts on those? Were they efficient?
The aqueduct?
What
have the Romans ever done for us? So apart from sanitation, the roads, medicine,
I knew you'd get
the aqueduct, what have the Romans ever done for us? What peace? Peace. Shut up.
Good. We have Python and we have Seinfeld.
Well, we got it all, baby.
So, Phil, I will say future episodes, even if you aren't available, if you could just set your computer up so your dog can sit in front of it and be in reoccurring guest on the podcast, that'd be awesome.
Oh, he'd be the best guest that you'd ever have.
He can't go far because he's on a leash. But
That's exactly right.
I like looking down the corner and seeing a little puppy sitting there. It's pretty sweet.
Cory, you have enough dogs in your life. You don't need to look at any more dogs.
Hey, Phil is more than I do. You have what, 3, Phil?
Your sister has a pack.
Yeah, well, it's at my sister's house.
9 dogs or something like that.
You have 2. Your sister has like 6 or something.
Keegan has 4. And Callie has 2.
Oh my god.
You also now have like a chinchilla or something like that.
She does have a chinchilla. So Phil, if you ever need a coat,
Oh God.
A very
Cory,
small.
you should get them all on ropes and buy a rickshaw.
Winter.
oh, that'd be a very uncontrolled rickshaw, that's for sure.
You're gonna need some homeless people to pull that for you.
Here's everybody.
The government. The government.
The government, hit us out.
Right. You know, I used to have a horse named Rusty.
No offense.
Now you just have a lot of glue.
What a delicious casino. Fit for king and queen.
Oh, beefarino. I may have to mute myself if I have to start yelling at my dog.
We would appreciate that.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just a reflex.
Hey, you bastards!
You bet. Shut up, you dogs.
Right. Get over here, you
Can I
bastards.
tell a quick commencement story?
Absolutely.
Because I mean, for those of you who don't know,
The time of the
who
season.
aren't in the area of higher education, it is commencement Saturday. Okay, most schools are would be having their in-person commencements today, but since the whole COVID thing, no one's having a commencement ceremony. So there's a lot of units that are having Zoom meetings, which is exactly what we did this afternoon for our students. And I was the master of ceremonies. And so it fell to me to give the commencement address. And I told a story of a person that you guys are all familiar with. His name is Brett C. Engel.
Oh, no.
And you guys are all familiar with the size of Alma College, correct?
Yeah.
It's like high school with dorms.
Yeah. 2,000, 2,500 students somewhere. So pretty small. And so your graduating class is not that big, and so the convocation is held in the gym. Then afterwards, Bob, I don't know if you remember this, but they had all of the professors, all of the administrators, all of the staff were lined up in 2 lines outside the gym. And when we came out after the ceremony was over, they were all there to shake our hands and say, "Congratulations, we made our way through the line." It was actually kind of a cool thing. But I was lucky enough to be seated right next to our friend Brett C. Engel, and as Bob will attest to, and Brett may have told some stories on this very podcast, Brett had a number of run-ins with the authorities, so to speak, and the administration at Alma College was very familiar with Brett's activities, let's just say. And there was one particular administrator. He was the dean of students. His name was Dean Kreidler. And are you guys all familiar with the movie Trading Places? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. You remember Billy Ray Valentine and his cord of blood technique?
Yes.
The cord of blood technique, cord of blood drops out of a person's body.
Yeah.
Anything? No one's nodding. Everyone's just staring at me like,
I'm saying
I've never heard of no cord of blood technique.
literally audible.
Trading Places.
I
Trading
thought
Places. Is that an old
I'll
movie?
say yes.
Is that a silent film? Dr.
I don't watch movies.
Buster Keaton, right?
Exactly, Buster Keaton. Yeah. So anyway, Dean Kreidler had this look that he could give you that was like the cord of blood technique. He gave you this look, and the cord of blood dropped out of your body. So we're going through the line, and we're shaking hands with all these people, and I can see Kreidler coming, and I know that he knows Engel because Engel has been in his office numerous times. And I'm right behind him in line, and we get to Kreidler, and Kreidler grabs his hand, and I'm pretty sure that our president learned how to shake hands from Kreidler, because Kreidler gets him in this handshake that just goes on and on and on and on, and just really, really long, and just you can tell that he's just ripping. He's giving him this look, and he goes, "Mr. Engel, I didn't think you were going to make it." And then we moved on down the line. And then, of course, today, as I'm telling the story, I said, now, you students may have felt at some point that you weren't going to make it to graduation, that you had some struggles, you had some hard times that you went through. But look at you now. You're here now. You've made it. You graduated. So I turned that little story into my motto, my point for the day. So there you go.
Were you at the dais?
Excuse me?
Were you up on the dais giving the speech?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I attempted to use this as my hold on a second. Use this as my virtual background, but I think it's because my computer is so old that this is what it does to my face.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, they kind of frown on blackface.
Sort of
80s music there, Phil.
Yeah, it's kind of like
they frown on
blackface.
blackface.
It's like crackle.
I thought that was Aha's Take on Me.
I know exactly. So anyway, it's I did use that. I put up this blanket. I don't know if you can see here. I got it pinned to the wall, and it's actually not a blanket. You see all the way up here to the top. Those are arms. This is one of those. I don't know what you call it. Like
is it a blanket?
Yeah, kind of like that. Where you can wrap yourself up in it, but it's a sleepy one. So.
Yeah.
Phil, you're giving away all the magic tricks immediately after we're seeing them.
Of Anton Studios.
Right. We were pretty impressed at first, and you're like, this is actually an article of clothing hanging behind me, and these are all my dogs on leashes.
Yeah, you guys thought I was sitting in some studio somewhere, didn't you?
We did.
I'm just glad you're not.
You were in California.
Yeah. Okay. I have another random observation here that just struck me, and I have to get this out, or I'll be upset with myself. Now, I look at Bob, Danielle, Cory, Joey, Nicholas, and like you guys all, your shirts look normal. Look at me. It looks like I have shoulder pads on. Like my neck does not fit the neck hole of my shirt. And
you do have very broad.
You know why this is?
No.
It's the size of the circumference of the head stretches out the neck hole of my finely knitted sweater.
Phil,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. About 15 minutes ago, I was sitting here and I was looking. I'm like, why is Phil's shirt like sitting up on his shoulders? And I actually kind of made a mental note to tell Danielle later.
Keeping you.
Did you notice a couple of times I leaned forward and tried to pull my shirt down so it looked more normal?
And then I started thinking of you, the Dana Carvey turtle.
Can I tell a quick story about the last time I think it's the only time I was ever at your house.
I think Phil froze up.
And only time I was ever at.
He might have, unless he's holding that smile real.
That's quite some talent if that's the case.
So I think it's the only time I was ever at his house. I think we were going to a show, and stopped by his house for we were in the area, and there's no way he wasn't going to. Because I'm sure it wasn't just me in the car with Phil. So we walked in. I met his mom and dad. His dad is a reverend, and so it was very respectful. So we were kind of walking around. I think he sat down in the living room. Someone asked us if we wanted some lemonade. And
Phil is rigor mortis.
So Phil's got two brothers, and right in the living room, right around the TV, they had composites of each of the kids. So I'm sure you've seen them where they kind of have your birth picture right in the middle, and then like a clock around. They start at the 12, they start at the 1, and they go like for year 1, year 2, year 3, all the way up until graduation. So I remember waiting for someone to bring my lemonade and look at the picture and seeing Phil's picture where it was probably around year 5 or 6, where the head just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger up until his graduation picture or his, well, I guess he would be 12 at the time, where his head filled the entire frame of the circle of the picture.
Just kept on getting bigger over the years.
It was, yeah, you could definitely tell there was a period of growth. Phil, I'm relating the story. The only time I was at your house, and I saw your composite along with Mark and Matt's on the wall.
Like circular on the wall. Yeah.
Exactly. Where your head started to, grow to its current size as through the years.
Like hydrocephalic or whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Mr. Guido, I believe they call that water on the brain.
Yes. For the normal man.
Hydroencephalopy, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I am a doctor.
I mean, it's,
I mean, yeah.
Doctor of exercise, really, but.
I mean, is that a real science?
I mean.
So did my screen just freeze on you guys there?
It did. You froze like this, like.
But that golden smile though, I couldn't get enough of that, Phil.
There you go. For some reason,
I stopped for a second. I'm like, is he fucking with me?
Like
he's just frozen.
Like an Olin Mills photo shoot from the 70s.
Exactly. Yes. or like every 70s TV show at the end of the episode.
Yes. Police Squad.
That was a Hennigan smile.
Has anyone else here ever seen Police Squad?
No.
Oh,
seen what? I didn't hear you.
Police Squad.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, like Frank Drebin.
Yes, if you've seen the Naked Gun films, they were all based on this 6-episode, very short-lived, one-season show called Police Squad.
Really?
Maybe the guys who did Airplane, all the Airplane films.
Oh.
So really good if you're in this pandemic, binge watching, looking for something to watch. Police Squad.
How do I get my phone to do gallery view?
Swipe. You have an iPhone?
Swipe.
Yeah.
Swipe over.
Swipe the whole screen.
Other way.
Other way.
There it is.
There you go.
There it is.
You got it? Okay.
That was a hell of a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
I do like how when your special guest, Dr. Phil, asks a tech question, and you guys are like, "Oh well, Phil, it's quite easy. Just take your finger and swipe like that." And if I ask a tech question, they shit all over me.
Because he has an iPhone, so it's very nice and easy to do.
How old's your computer, Joe? Assholes.
I'm noticing a theme of this particular show. Is this like a common thing where it's just let's just piss Joe off as much as we possibly can to get him riled up?
Normally, I'm a nice guy.
Phil, if you haven't noticed,
it's
awfully easy to do so as well.
Yeah. Joe, I think you and I should start our own podcast.
We should, Phil.
Yes, because all these people are assholes.
You say that now. Joe, why don't you tell him what the themes of your podcast would be, what the common topics would be?
Yeah, please.
I don't remember. Have I said them before?
Yes, you have. Nick, do you want to, or should I?
Go ahead. I don't remember.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of talk about whatever you found interesting, like 70s rock bands and feces-related art projects. And
everybody finds feces interesting.
Exactly.
No, they don't.
Who wouldn't?
Anybody that goes like this and is bashful, no.
I
don't believe you for a second.
Hitler mustaches and should you serve Mexican people in restaurants and all sorts of basically everything we've ever talked about in the podcast where it was brought up and we said no, we're not going to do that. And you're like, why? Those are all the things.
What did I ever say about serving Mexican people in restaurants? I don't think I ever said that.
It was the Mexican pizza thing.
Yep.
Oh, but that wasn't what I said.
That was very directly related.
No, they stuck with it too. They didn't call it the Mexican pizza.
I think what you said was with your beard, someone thought you were a Mexican server in a restaurant.
No, they think I'm Arabic all the time, and I don't think I look Arabic at all.
To be fair, Joe, pizza and people sounds quite similar.
Look at Phil's face.
All right, go ahead, Phil.
What were you saying, Phil? Sorry.
No, I just said that pizza and people, those two words sound very similar.
Yeah.
So you could have just been misunderstood.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, one of the themes of this podcast. Joe is misunderstood.
What I was saying, but okay.
Phil had a look on his face during the "To Be Fair" as if, am I the only one hearing these voices right now?
I was really hoping that you guys were actually doing that.
We did actually do that. It's just recorded on the mixer.
I see. Very, very nice. So it's a sound effect. You've got sound.
Part of it. The flat part of Cory. Can't get it all up. Can't carry a tune in a bucket, can you? Cory?
Yeah, and the Zoom doesn't do it any justice, but it sounds great coming right from the mixer piped into the audio.
I bet it does. It sounded pretty good right here.
I think we could do better than that. But.
Actually, if you want to give Phil a taste of Joe's button on the mixer, Bob.
Oh yeah, we do have a Joe button for when if Joe's not here or we can't. He can't give his feedback.
Yeah, what?
Welcome death, everybody, because it's inevitable. It's going to happen.
How about Cory's?
Well, that's a very specific usage.
It's not even words.
Yeah, it was like an angry cookie monster.
Words. You might as well just fart into the microphone. At least I said.
How is that the same?
Because all he does is go. It's just
don't give him any ideas.
Yeah,
that sounds more Tasmanian devil than Cookie Monster, to be honest with you.
All right, go, Bob. Hit the button.
All right, I'll hit the button.
Here.
It's exactly what it is.
All right, Ms. Danielle Finn.
Yes.
If you're up for it, I got a word box entry to send you.
Ooh. Okay.
All right, so let's do a little Danielle's word box. I'm going to send this to you now. Phil, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but if we have any other our new listeners who aren't either, essentially, these many years ago, we were talking about brands of vodka, and Cory's favorite brand is Smirnoff. But when asked, Danielle put a little sh in that word. Smirnoff. And we probably took things too far, as we tend to do, and just sort of made a gag out of adding a little sh onto every word. Daniel's word box.
Can I ask one question before you start?
Sure.
And I know this is not to Bob; it's just to everybody else. I want you to ballpark how many times per episode Bob uses the word "low." Low these many years. Low this. Low that.
That's a good one. I don't think I've ever really paid attention to that.
No, but you're right. You're right, because he's constantly saying, low these many years, or our podcast has reached an all-time low. Like things like that are always what he's saying.
Yeah, that's accurate.
I'm running low on alcohol.
Yes.
I'm feeling mighty low.
All right. Continue with Danielle's box.
Danielle's word box. A lot of times we do a single word, single word with an SCH in it, but in this case, sometimes we do tongue twisters. So I sent her a little tongue twister for today. So,
all right, you ready?
Let me know when you got it.
I got it.
Okay, you let us hear a little bit of that tongue twister.
Okay. Send toast to 10 stout saint 10 tall tents.
Ooh, that's not bad.
Double speed.
No. One and done. That's how it is.
Done. Oh, come on.
See, I think Bob, she's good at the tongue twisters.
When they don't contain any SCH, knock that out of the park.
Oh. Except for when there's a collection of imagination.
Oh, that one
Menagerie.
Yeah, that was an all-time favorite. Imagine an imaginary menagerie.
Is someone getting a new roof put on, or?
I know. What is that?
What is your dog doing?
Is he digging a hole? Working on this bedpost.
Is he digging a hole in the quilt to try to find
Yeah, he's making a nest over there to make it.
Yeah.
He's not done yet.
He's got a hammer.
Steaming dump right on the comforter.
Well, at least our dog's not the only weird one that does that.
Yeah,
Yep.
Cute teddy.
I could tell you.
Yeah. I think it's an inside dog, outside dog thing where they want to dig in the dirt, to make their bed more comfortable. And
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's what I've been told.
Indy doesn't do that, but his mom, when I had his mom, Allie, here, she did that. She would do it for literally 30 to 35 minutes every time. Just loud, like you could hear it all the way up on the top floor of the house.
Yeah, Rue will take a blanket and keep on doing that and circling, and then act like she's about to sit down. And when her butt's about halfway to the blanket, she's like, nope, time to get back up and do some more circles.
Phil, is that your bed?
No, this is our spare bed down in the basement.
Oh, all right.
Did you just share your screen?
Your bear?
I did, but I didn't mean to.
I was like, what's happening?
Well, that could have gone sideways.
Picture.
Exactly. You guys just got a taste of what the commencement experience was like for our students earlier today with me running the Zoom show. Not good.
Oh God,
not good.
That's a great picture. I assume that's Bedhead, is it not? I've seen that picture a number of times.
Yeah, it's actually from 2 years ago. Hold on a second, let me share it again.
That looked like I haven't seen my bed in a couple of days.
Yeah, it's from 2 years ago during Christmas break. My wife and I were both really super sick with colds, probably COVID or something. But I was sitting there. We're both just miserable and just been bitching at each other constantly. And she all of a sudden we're watching. I don't even remember what we were watching, and she starts giggling. I'm like, "What the fuck's so funny?" And she goes, "Just turn towards me just a little bit." And so I did. And she had her phone up. She took this picture, and I had been laying on the couch, and I had just sat up, and this was what my hair looked like. So this is no hair gel, nothing. This is just being sick for a couple of days and having devil horns appear at the top of your head.
El Diablo.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
It is.
Yeah, that eggnog's pretty. That's a creeper drink right there.
Creeper drink.
Eggnog?
Why is
that shit too fast? Whoa.
Who's drinking eggnog?
He said it was around Christmas, so I'm making a joke about him being hungover and not sick.
Yeah, you're in the
explain everything.
Joe's the one doing it now.
I have to explain everything.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah.
Joe.
Yes.
Joe. Once again, I was right there with you. You and I podcast. Let's do it. Fuck these people.
Hey, Nick and Cory, have you two not noticed also that whenever we have a guest on, they tend to side with Joe for some reason?
I can see why.
It's not Phil, it's Krabby, or it's Todd. Someone's like, yeah, Joe, I'm right there with you. And I'm like,
yep.
What's going on here?
Although I will say at the end of the episode that we had Todd on, things were definitely going south as far as Todd and Joe's relationship.
Relationship had soured?
It got very sour. Well, I'm just saying that if we would have let that go on for another 10 minutes, we were definitely not going to be able to air that episode.
You didn't air any of it?
No, I'm saying if we let it go on, we would not have been able to.
No, we.
Joe's talking. Snips.
That's another great picture. If you could just move your head a little bit,
raising hands now.
Just slide over to the right. No. Actually slide in the chair over to the right. No, you can't. Well, that's fine.
Head, move.
Head, move. No.
Move.
There you go. Perfect.
Giant move.
Perfect. That's
Gina would like it to be known that she absolutely did not side with Joe.
Oh, I think we assumed that to be the case. Yeah. In fact, I was just Phil, you can slide back.
She does. She wants everyone to think she doesn't.
Thanks, buddy.
He's always right.
I was just telling Nick the other night that I was listening to I think it was episode 66. And and it was right about the part where like with an hour left to go, Cory, where somehow came up and somebody asked her who her least favorite member of the podcast was, and she's like, "Oh, it's Joe." And she was like, "What?" But I want to know why. Why am I tell me why? Is it my jokes? Is it the way I say things? Is it the way I laugh or whatever? And he goes,
"Your face, Joe." It's your
he
face.
goes, well, she said it was your face, but then she explained why. She's like, when I watched the podcast, you guys were in Nick's basement, and Nick has this baseball bat, and he keeps on like slapping the bat against his hand. I just kind of want him to hit you in the face with that bat.
We've gone from joking to full-on assault now, so that's. I know people.
That is hands down like 15 minutes of the greatest.
Did he leave because it's Google? Hey, Phil. It's okay.
I think he was getting feedback on his microphone.
Oh, okay.
That was hands down the greatest 15 minutes I've heard on a podcast in a long time. Was she just kept doubling down on it, and you're like, no, tell me why. And she's like, okay, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons why I think you're the worst.
She didn't give us 5 reasons. She didn't even give us 1.
It was 50. It went on for 15 minutes. It was glorious.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that because she didn't give us.
You should.
Scotty Moore weighed in and said, yeah, she didn't waste any time. She just threw Joe right under the bus.
But it went on for a long time, like a really long time.
I was not there, so.
Yeah, which is why I told you, I'm like, you got to go back and listen to this. You're missing some comedy gold here because you weren't there.
No, it's easy when she's talking behind her keyboard. You wait until we meet in public and we'll see how that goes. We'll strap on some boxing gloves and go to it.
So God, I'm glad you ended that with boxing gloves.
Yeah. I'm glad you followed strap on with something else.
Danielle and I do have conversations with her here and there, and she did bring up that she loves listening to us, and she seems and she finds it kind of awkward that she's a listener that we've kind of befriended. I'm like, oh, it's awesome that we reached out to someone and you become a listener. But she did say that she was looking forward to, but also very nervous if she was ever to actually join the show in person because she wouldn't want Joe lunging across the table at her.
Oh yeah. Now we've talked too, so it doesn't matter.
I'm not sure if we're going to get Dr. Phil Anton back, but how far are we into?
I need Phil. He's my only friend.
We're about an hour in now, Cory.
102. Which another good thing I found out how to do today with the whole Facebook Live fiasco. I do have a timer on the screen now. So.
Oh.
Okay, gotcha.
I have one in my thing too. It's right on the bottom of my taskbar, actually.
Not a clock. An actual
clock?
Timer of when the
Can't tell time. I started at this time. It's this time now. Do some math. There you go. How long we've been running.
I will have to say that
off to do that, Cory.
I will have to say that Phil has had the most technical issues of anyone on the podcast so far.
Yeah. And so as a deep cut throwback, this might be exactly why doing a podcast with Phil over a year ago
wasn't working.
He's an eccentric doctor.
He had to go. The only episode we ever recorded, he had to go into his office to dial into Skype to do that.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got 25 seconds remaining on the Instagram hour-long live. So
let's.
Just in time, Phil.
All right, so Phil Anton, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. We're just about at the 1 hour minute mark. We're glad you came back. We're going to take a break right now because the Instagram has like a limit on it. Take a break for Facebook Live too for about how long you think, Cory? 10 minutes?
Yeah. Well, let's come back at 1 o'clock on the dot.
Okay, it's about 12 minutes. 1 a.m. Come back, and so let's take a break. See you in a little bit.
Yeah, you can stay in the room, Phil.
Yep.
But what am I supposed to do for 10 minutes?
Whatever you want.
I'll tell you what I'd like you to do.
Think of a couple.
Okay, so what you're telling me?
All right, we'll see everyone in 12 minutes.
Pan down.
Is it all options are on the table?
Pan down, buddy. That's a
pan down.
Let
me select
down. Don't pan down.
Hey, let me stop the live stream here before we.
Let me select the appropriate virtual background for this.
Yes, there you go. Deep space, maybe. Oh, the Old West.
Yelling.
And we're back. Welcome to the second half of episode 72. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a few things left to get to, one of which is pick of the week, and I'd like Phil to be able to weigh in on that. So Phil, Anton, start thinking about pick of the week is essentially, like a movie or a TV show or website, something that really struck you, that you really tickled your fancy, and you'd like to recommend to the listeners that they should go and see or watch. So start thinking about that. But before we do that, let's we're gonna do a shot here. I'm gonna kick it off the right way, so we don't have to walk off stage left and go get it. So if you're doing a shot and you're in the future, you can pause this now and go get your own shot and then join us. Ready, go. And you're back. Here we go. We're going to do a shot with you. Here's to you.
Or they can talk about why my name wasn't on the bill for tonight, but Phil's was.
Well, I wasn't told that you were going to be here for sure or not, so I went the safe route.
Fairly certain that got changed pretty easily.
In the year 3000. In the year 3000.
That's right.
I love that.
All right. So
Lubamba did that.
I think first let's handle gentleman's agreement. Can we do that?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Everybody raise your hand. Watched what they were supposed to watch.
We didn't do a second.
We didn't do another one.
No, I know, but we're catching up on.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that's 3. Which one do you find, gentlemen, would like to go first? Okay.
Well, we're not rehashing what we already watched.
If you had something you were supposed to watch and you watched it and are ready to give a review of it, raise your hand.
We already gave our reviews last episode.
So why did you raise your hand?
Bob hadn't gone last week.
I didn't go last week.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, I apologize. I'll put my hand down.
All right. Nick, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Yours is going to be much longer, so let me just.
Oh no, it's not.
Let me knock mine out here.
Okay.
Okay. So mine, after waiting several months for my good friend Joe, upon his recommendation for his own gentleman's agreement pick for me, to come over and watch it with me. I finally realized that I was at the restaurant getting stood up, and I was ready to call it a night. So I finally decided to, batten down the hatches and watch this on my own at a very mediocre volume.
He's going to be so mad.
Against Joe's recommendation of putting, looking like the guy in the chair for the Maxell. Whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, the Maxell guy with my hair blowing back and everything like that. No, I didn't do that. I will say this.
Wait, hold on. To tell the folks what you watched.
Yeah. So Joe's recommendation was The Last Waltz.
Okay.
Anyway, Bob, did you see that?
I have not seen it. I offered if you guys were going to watch together, and I wasn't doing anything, I'd come over and watch it with you. But that was a movie directed by Scorsese, right? About the band.
Yeah. Okay. Phil, did you see it?
The last
I've
one.
seen it.
Nick, did you watch it, or are you just doing what Cory did on his?
He's giving his review of it right now.
Yeah. So, to me, okay, I have, and it might be a stupid question because I felt like I was in Joe's head the entire time I was watching the movie. Yeah, I mean, it is everything. I mean, it bleeds Joe. I mean,
so you're also
nothing,
high on mushrooms?
No, there's nothing.
It's the only way I can imagine Joe's head.
There's nothing. It's an antiquated movie for sure. But Joe, stupid. Maybe it's a stupid question. Maybe it's not.
No, it's stupid.
So, I could say some good things. I'm going to say some good things about this too. Those were a lot of the real artists, or that was actually live footage.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm saying, was it a movie or was it just a concert series that they just kind of interrupted with asking people from the band questions?
Oh no, it was a live concert. The last concert they ever did.
So exactly. So it wasn't, and that was my understanding. I just want to make sure I was not incorrect.
Mm.
So it was not a movie. It was not a movie. It was The Last Waltz was the band's, last concert, with all those different people involved. And basically it was watching a live concert, 2 hours or however long. Great music, by the way. Awesome, great music. A lot of stuff that I knew I liked, but I didn't know who it was at the time. But now I know. Amazing artists. But it was like, we're going to play a, 4-minute song, and then you're going to have like a camera in my face and be like, so what were you guys thinking at the time? I don't know, man. We were just doing some drugs, and we were fucked up. And then I talked to Bill, and he was pretty fucked up too. And then that was the night that we had to go on. And then it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, and it would go like on to the next song. And I was like, when is the movie starting? This is not a movie. I'm watching a concert. So it was cool because once I realized that, while it was cool to watch, it was better to listen to. And I like to appreciate the music more because I felt like there was some takeaway for me, seeing the man behind the curtain, and I kept it on and I watched it and I kept glancing up at it, but I had it at a decent volume, and it was just a lot of great artists that it had me Googling different people. So it was really cool, but it was way, and I don't know if Joe planned it out this way, and if it did, it was almost ingenious, but it was way more themed towards me than I thought it would have been, because it was very Southern rock. Like a lot of the music had country undertones to it. So I liked that a lot. It's not something that I would go sit down and watch again, but it's absolutely something I would turn on and listen to. And if you looked at the Instagram story tonight, Joe, I don't even know if you have Instagram.
I don't.
Okay. Well, if you looked at the Instagram story, as an homage to you, the background music to the story is actually from The Last Waltz.
What song?
If I could, I'm sure I could play it right now. Hold on.
No, don't do that.
12 seconds.
Oh, that's right. We can't do that. We'll get shut down again. But no, that was really cool. I liked it. in my head, I was doing a lot of finger wagging when it first started. I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. You know, it's like one of the first scenes, like everyone's coming out, like grainy film and bell bottoms. I'm like, son of a bitch, Joe. I'm like, but being a man of principles, I'm like, I am going to watch this. You know, why is Phil Anton scream Joe?
Been up there for like.
I was actually just looking. I looked at the list of all the people on.
Oh my God!
I'm like, why is Phil's profile picture very blue? And I looked. I'm like, is that Joe? So at some point during the break, he changed his profile picture to Joe.
No, it was sometime during Nicholas's review that I changed that.
Oh well, very quick, sir. Very, very quick.
Nick,
Yeah.
what was the first thing that they told you to do at the beginning of that movie?
The first thing they told you to do.
I'm gonna take a stab in the dark here and say turn up the volume.
No, I don't know. What did they tell me to do?
This film should be played loud, which is why I told you to play it loud, not a medium volume, at a loud volume.
No, because I didn't. It's not a film. It's a concert.
It's not a concert. It's a film. It's a documentary.
No, it's not. There's probably about 10 minutes of talking in the whole 2 hours.
No, it's pretty even.
Agree to disagree.
I will.
Yeah, trust me, I was happy because I really liked the music.
Well, that's
and if
why
they
I did
would
it. I figured you'd like the music. So.
And if they would have done more talking, I would have probably fallen asleep. I'm like, I don't care about, you know, when you met Billy Joe Simon or fucking, you know, what was the Dr. James or whatever the fuck his name was. Dr. John. I like Dr. John.
Yeah, Dr. John's awesome.
Dr. John was really cool. I ended up Googling him. But yeah, Joe, why don't you list, because I would just fuck it up. Why don't you list all the big names in
all
that?
The big names?
I mean, just a couple in your head.
There's Clapton, Paul Butterfield, Joni Mitchell, Dr. John was on there. Ringo Starr was on there. Van Morrison.
Emmylou or whatever.
Emmylou?
Was it Emmylou Harris or whatever that country singer's name was?
Possibly. There's a lot of them. Though.
Yeah, there was
young. There
Carrie Underwood.
Because the band,
Neil Young, Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond was on there. Yeah.
Yep.
The band is Canadian, so they had a lot of Canadian singer-songwriters on there. Yeah.
Brian Adams was on there probably.
Brian Adams.
Yeah.
Young Brian Adams.
You know, it was super cool because like every song was like a different huge name singer.
Oh yeah, but I mean everybody was, yeah.
No, the song that I played was what was it? Take a Load Off Sally or whatever.
The Weight?
That's The Weight, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I put on Instagram.
Yes, I saw that. And that's how I knew. I'm like, oh, Nick must be ready to do his gentleman's agreement today.
Staples singers.
Did you legitimately say like, oh, I know Bob's is going to be long, so I'll go first?
Dude,
yeah.
In true Nick fashion. That was a very short Nick story.
Was it really? Okay, wow.
I like to think sometimes I can be succinct.
Sometimes.
Succinctly. Suck what?
Fantastic review, sir. I can't believe you pulled it off.
I think
I did. It was good. I really liked it.
All right, so I got to give mine. Mine was I was tasked by Joe to watch the Mary Martin 1953 edition, I think, of Peter Pan on YouTube, which I did.
Okay, I was going to say, first of all, where did you find it? Because we couldn't find it.
It's on YouTube?
It's on YouTube, yeah. If it wasn't on YouTube, I was just going to watch the fucking animated Peter Pan on Disney Plus. Because fuck it. Because fuck it, it's Peter Pan. I mean, everybody knows the fucking story of Peter Pan.
Because Peter Pan.
Found it on YouTube, so go fuck yourself. I watched that one. And
good, isn't it?
it was really good. I was really impressed. The first thing I will say was I didn't realize it would be in color because it was like 1955,
355, one of those.
something like that. I thought it'd be black and white, but it was in color, and it looked really, really good. And the camera work was really good. I mean, it looked like it had been filmed in like the 70s. You know, like they had, the way it looked like it had been shot in a time where they had done some work in like cinematography and a lot of that stuff. So that looked really, really good. I kept trying to look and see if I recognized anybody in that production, you know, because I'm not a young man. So I'm like, oh, maybe there's some actors here that I've seen in some other movies, but I didn't recognize anybody else.
Nah, not really.
The one thing that it's the same thing that I remember from the animated one, because I had to go back and watch it. Because I asked my mom, I'm like, you know, did you see this? Did you see this when you were, you know, young? I think my mom would have been probably 10 or 12 when it aired, and she said, yeah, she saw it. It was a really, really big deal.
Yeah, huge.
TV at the time when it aired, and that they kept on rebroadcasting it over the years, and then doing new versions with different actresses playing Peter Pan. So, but Mary Martin was always kind of thought of as being the, you know, the Al Pacino of Peter Pan. Like, you're never going to top the first best original, and, you know, every other version kind of pales in comparison to Mary Martin.
Right.
So right at the beginning, the narration of the story says all this has happened before. Do you remember that, Joe?
Yeah, Lynn Fontanne narrated it.
Yeah. So am I to assume from that Mr. Darling, the kid's father, has also had an experience with Peter Pan when he was a young boy?
Yeah, he was a lost boy.
Was he? Okay. It wasn't specifically stated.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he just kind of, maybe I was remembering from the animated one, but I thought he was kind of like the drudgy adults, like the, you know, like, oh, you're not a kid anymore. You don't understand how kids, you can't dream like kids dream, that kind of shit.
Right. No, that's exactly how the animated one did it too. At the end, he's like, I recognize that ship when they're looking out the window.
Yeah. That's right.
He was a lost boy. Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen Peter Pan in any form, so I guess I'd forgotten about that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, in that first opening sequence, when they're giving him, like, the kids are getting sleepy, what the fuck are they giving the kids? They're almost giving him, like, you know, I think they're calling it a tonic, but it's more like are you slipping these kids liquid morphine or something? Why are they going immediately into dreamland?
Because it's the lullaby. She sings them a lullaby.
Oh, but but they're specifically like,
I don't know.
Nana is giving them a tonic. And I'm like, I don't know what life was like in the 50s, but when Nana gave you tonic, was it some sort of like a, you know, like Michael Jackson's Doctor sort of a cocktail to get you to go to sleep?
Could be.
It was very, very bizarre to me.
Hey, the Peter Pan and there's a lot of intricate stuff that people have gotten into over the years. And they're like, oh no, this is that, and this, you know, like who Captain Hook like represents and blah blah blah. And you're like, well, you know, my dad said that they had to take that off the air because kids were climbing up onto their garages and jumping off, thinking they could try and fly, and kids were flying. Yeah, so
that makes sense to me.
Kids in the 50s, man.
It's fucking crazy 50s kids.
Brain.
Last thing I'll say about it is there was a scene on the pirate ship where Peter Pan was supposed to, if what I saw was correct, there's a fight scene, but before the fight scene, Peter Pan kills one of the pirates in the cabin.
Two of them.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Is it just because it was in the 50s? Like, oh, we just came out of World War II and like people die all the time. And so we're going to show up, oh, Peter Pan can kill someone. That's fine. I don't recall that ever happening in the animated version when I was a kid.
No, there wasn't any bloodshed in the animated one.
Yeah, but I'm like, Peter Pan shouldn't be killing anybody. This is supposed to be a kid's thing.
Yeah, he killed 2 people in that movie.
Yeah.
I
That was kind of shocking to me.
Yeah.
That's my quick capsule review, Nick Bader. Peter Pan.
I've been listening the whole time.
Fucking liar.
I have.
I just like it known that I clocked out at a sweet 6 minutes.
Sounded decent.
Yeah, it was
It's actually really good.
Yeah, if you like Peter Pan, it was really, really cool. If you don't like Peter Pan, don't waste your time.
I won't give you guys any more musicals, I promise.
Oh, Phil's in the chat saying had to go.
Bye, Phil.
Phil's still here though.
He just showed back up
for a second.
Yeah.
No, but my brother and I used to watch that version a lot when we were growing up. We had it on VHS, or my grandpa recorded it on TV and gave us the VHS that he recorded it on. Or
I feel like that's probably the only way you're going to be able to see it.
yeah,
I'll tell you what.
I didn't find it on the YouTube that you found it.
Phil said Heat Dog and Hump Dog going at it. Had to go.
Oh no!
I'll tell you what. I that is the one I really enjoy because they redid the one with recently with who was it? Christopher Walken as Captain Hook. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll give it a shot. I watched it. I'm like, no, he did a horrible Captain Hook because he was still Christopher Walken. He's like, hey, I can't do a good Christopher Walken. But he was Christopher Walken dressed up as Captain Hook. I'm like, this is dumb.
I mean,
when did that come out?
A few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, he looks good. The costumes were good, but he's too Christopher Walken. He's not Captain Hook, Yeah. Yeah, it had to have been 4 or 5 years ago, somewhere around there. But that I did not enjoy. But that's where I remember watching it too. Is my grandpa recorded it, and we were watching on VHS, and that's why.
My grandpa recorded all kinds of like movies for us as kids on their TV, and then gave us the VHS tape.
Disney Christmas cartoons that were all grainy, and you're just like, and I kind of want to get my hands on a VCR and rewatch them in that graininess, and you're just like, I watched this shit when I was 5 years old.
Mm-hmm. Good memory.
I like nostalgia, yeah, because everything else is
shit,
garbage.
Exactly.
Who else did it? Cory? I didn't. I gave up on that rapper thing that Cory made me watch.
Oh, and that was coursing through my mind within the first 10 minutes of the last Waltz. I'm like, I could just pull a Joe and be like, fuck this, I'm not watching this. Joe did this on purpose.
No, but I mean, this is all music that I knew that you would know. I mean, I could have made you watch something really, really bad, I guess. Which is what Cory did to me. I'm fairly certain.
That's not what I did to you.
So a couple things, Bob, while you're staring into the screen like a scientist on an audio podcast. New gentleman's agreement.
I'm working on that right now.
And pick of the week.
Yeah, I'm working on the new gentleman's agreement right now, but we have I had made a formula before that when you were not on the podcast, you were AWOL. You were on special assignment, I guess I'll say. And so I had made like a little formula to try to randomize the numbers.
I'm pretty sure I was AWWL.
No.
It's not like I said, hey, I'll be there. And then all of a sudden everyone's like, where's Nick? I wasn't absent without leave. I was with leave. I was like, yeah.
I was with leave.
Okay, we want to go around and do pick of the week then while you're focusing on something, that formula?
Yeah, I guess we could, unless you guys want to do a shot.
Oh, you got to give me a second, so let's do pick of the week.
Cory's got chaw in his mouth. So, pick of the week, Cory. You want to go first?
I'm going to throw it to Danielle real quick because I have several in a line, and I feel.
Jesus.
Huh?
She's like, fuck you.
Because I don't know what you're going to pick, so that's why I always...
I have a list, so that's why I want you to go.
God damn it, I'll go first.
Okay.
Go, Joe.
Jesus. I just watched it today. Seinfeld had a new stand-up that was on Netflix called 23 Hours to Kill. And I enjoyed it. It was typical Seinfeld style. But he talked a lot about...
I did.
What? I'm sorry?
I was going to say, I did see that came up on Netflix.
Yeah, he talked a lot about food and like and cell phones and typical Seinfeld. And so if you guys like Seinfeld, go and watch it. I liked it. So
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I watched it.
Oh, you already watched it? Okay.
Yeah.
Take it back then.
You're allowed to have a pick if somebody else has already had it or saw it or...
So that was okay.
I don't know what else to say about it.
Okay.
Highly recommended.
So I'll go then. Some of the guys already know this story, and I'll make it a lot quicker this time because I'm not as enthusiastic about it after telling it several times. So mine is the app Lawn Guru. If you don't know anything about it, look into it. It's a very simple app on your phone. You go into it. Literally, I wanted my grass cut. I really didn't, this week especially, didn't feel like it. Looked into it. There's a couple pictures in the beginning of the app of different services that it provides. I had called around in the past and talked to all different kinds of lawn companies. My house is kind of weird the way it's set up. We have to cut part of the city grass. And a lot of places wouldn't do that. But most especially, a lot of places wouldn't just give you a one-time lawn cutting. You had to sign up for a service. And I talked to like 4 or 5 of the big lawn companies, and they're like, at the end of the day of talking about everything, they're like, oh, no, we can't just do one time. We have to come every week. And I'm like, well, that's fucking stupid because I can cut my own grass, but sometimes I'm super busy. So I just want a one-time service. So this just happened to pop up on my Facebook, and I looked into it. So it has a ton of different things that you can do, services, you know, from raking leaves, aerating your lawn, seeding, lawn cutting. And it's kind of like one of those, like if you need like a handyman service or anything like that, or a plumber, like it's kind of a network through the app. So I took a stab in the dark. I clicked on the lawn cutting. The way it caught my attention, again, Lawn Guru, the way it caught my attention was it said, do you ever wish that you had an app like Uber for your lawn? And I was like, what? So it's very much, if you've ever used Uber, it's set up like that.
They pick it up and take it?
Yep, they take the lawn. And so... yeah, you can't comment if your face isn't on the screen. Okay. So
I just did.
So anyhow, so I went into it, I clicked on it. It you allow permissions for location, you draw out what part of your lawns you want cut. It gives you an immediate estimate right away, and it assigns somebody like an Uber driver to that area that's already in that area. And it says, you know, when do you want your grass cut? It shows that however many of your neighbors, it shows a satellite view of your house, are also using this service. If you get on board with a schedule, then they'll come around once a week when they do your neighbor's lawn, and they'll do yours as well, and you get like $4 off. So I just wanted a one-time cut, and it actually had an option for that, which I thought was cool. It said, when do you want it cut? You know, we come around on Wednesdays. Well, this was Monday. So I clicked on ASAP, and it responded with a text message through the app, like I was talking to somebody. And it was some guy named Ryan. He's like, hey, I just got your order. You know, I'll be there first thing in the morning. And I'm like, and it shows a picture and everything. And I'm like, okay. So the last part of it was, hey, do you have anything I need to know about your yard? So I did have a couple things that I wanted to let them know. And I did. I said, you need to weed whack around this specific thing that my sister's bought me that's kind of breakable. I woke up the next day, the lawn was completely cut. Everything was done correctly. And I didn't have any contact with anybody. And at the last minute, I was able to find a $15 off coupon. So it cost me, for 6,500 square feet of lawn cut, it cost me $18. I did it all through the app, and I woke up and everything was pristine and edged and weed whipped, and it was fucking amazing.
These lawn companies are going to go out of business.
Dude, it was awesome. If I didn't have the promo code that I found online, it would have probably been like $34.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Well, as I was telling Nick, though, when we were discussing this, not on air, and he brought it up, because you said, about the lawn companies going out of business. I would think that every lawn company would actually just sign up for Lawn Guru.
Right.
And
either
they would get way more customers out of it, or they would just have to go that route of, yes, there might be a lot more people out there that only need their lawn cut once or twice here and there. Like, I'm on vacation, so I need my lawn cut that week. Right. Or I'm out of town on business for 2 weeks, so I want you to cut it these 2 Wednesdays. I think, dude, that money is going to that's more than, you just putting everything up and saying, hey, we're not going to be in business anymore.
Well, like Gina said, the lawn companies are part of the app. It was like those apps that are like the Pro Finder apps, where you go in and you're like, what do you need? You need a plumber, and it networks through people that do that through the app. The app, of course, gets a little bit of money by sending out the business, but you're going through local companies. It's just they're taking advantage of that app.
Right. So that's exactly what they should be doing, if they're smart about it. Because, again, not everyone wants a scheduled lawn cut every week for the next 2 years. So, but even if you get that extra, even if it's $30, you get that extra $30 from stopping by someone's house that's in your area or the area that you service. Why not do that? And that's going to keep your business going.
But here's the thing. Like, I would assume that I would pay like a local kid going door to door for the amount of lawn I have, $40. I would assume that would be a fair price. So $34 to cut the city front part, my long front yard, the long backyard, and the city part way in the backyard that we have to maintain for $34, and then with a promo code 18. I mean, there's just no question about it. But the last thing I'll say about the coolest thing about the app are 2 things. One, if you refer a friend with your code, you each get $15 off your next service. And with all the different things that they provide, like snow removal, leaf blowing, aeration, grass seeding, whatever, at the bottom of the list, it said, hey, is there something you need done that you don't see here? Just shoot us a text and let us know. We could probably connect you with someone that can take care of it. And I was like, wow, that's awesome.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it was really cool.
All right, Danielle.
Okay, my pick is a show on Apple TV, Apple Plus. It's called Defending Jacob. It's with Chris Evans. He's a district attorney, and his son is accused of killing a classmate. So it's only on like episode 5, I think, right now. They're released every Friday. But it's just really interesting to see like the case progression. Oh, who's on that?
You might want to mute him.
Yeah, I got it.
He got it. But just to see like the pieces like slowly come together of the case and finding different things, and you know, he's saying he's innocent and his parents trying to prove his innocence, but how basically like his classmates turn on him and the community turns on him. That's really good. So
Okay.
we have Apple TV, Apple Plus defending Jacob.
Did you pay for it, or are you doing it off the trial?
Trial. Well, no, I get it free for a year because I upgraded the Apple TV.
Oh,
not
right.
too long ago.
Gotcha. Cory?
Well, the list I have growing here, the first one I'll go with. So as I told you guys on some of the chats that we've had throughout the last couple of weeks, Danielle and I have found a new obsession, if you will, with collecting. They're called Funko Pops, and they're little figurines, as you can see behind me, a couple of them. But let me grab one here. So little characters from different movies, and the coolest part about them to collect.
Describe what you're holding for the audio listeners.
For the audio listeners, this is the Gopher from Caddyshack.
Okay.
And so they turn all these characters from different movies and TV shows, and there's also other real life characters that they create, and they turn them into these little creative big-headed figurines. And they're only usually about $8.99 per figurine to collect. So we've been.
Wouldn't Phil Anton be a great Funko Pop?
Well, his head's already big enough, so if they made it bigger, I don't know if you could actually stand it on a table anywhere. It would fall over.
Tip over, exactly.
But they sell them plenty of places, obviously online and all that. But Targets and Walmart have them, and they also have like their own exclusive ones that you can only get from them.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to kind of like search around different places to get different Funko Pop figurines, and we've been on it's become pretty bad. I think we're at what, 19 now?
I think that's what you said.
And I think it's been maybe 5 days.
Just make sure the Finns can keep making their mortgage payment. That's all we ask.
What will the Japanese think of next?
So anyone out there looking to start a collectible
in this global pandemic, if you've got money to burn.
Well, and it's one of the things that has helped us through this and been something to look forward to is collecting these. So
cool.
But yeah, well, and then on the two things on top of that, they also started producing the Funko Pops for the guys from Comic Book Men. So Kevin Smith, Walter Flanagan. I think those are some of the next ones I'm going to look for. But in that Chive post I sent you guys about Letterkenny today, they did leak a poster of Funko Pop Letterkenny figurines.
Nice.
So if they were to make those, that's going to be a problem.
You probably unmute Phil. He's with us at this point.
He said no.
No? Too late.
He shook his head no.
Yeah, too late, Phil. You're unmuted.
All right, Joe, go ahead. You got a pick.
I already did mine.
Sorry,
Didn't
what?
I said I already did mine.
What was yours?
Jerry Seinfeld thing.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he did.
I'm sorry.
He did go first.
All right. Phil, you got audio? Do you have a pick of the week you want to recommend to anybody? Excellent. That's something we could all get behind. Did you just mute your audio? All right.
Yeah, Phil did that himself. That was not
all
me.
right. I'll bring up the rear here. My pick is Afterlife on Netflix. Hopefully, no one's already done that one.
I do not believe so.
It's a Ricky Gervais Netflix series, 2 seasons, 6 episodes per season, 30 minutes per episode. So it's like a total 5 hours to watch at this point. So not long of a of a time commitment at all, but it's really well done. It's I will say from the trailers, I had been holding out on it because it looked kind of sentimental, or I don't know, just snarky or something like that. Something wasn't really. I was expecting The Office, I guess, but it didn't seem like that. But once I finally started it, it was really, really well done. Essentially, it's small British town. Ricky Gervais has lost his wife, and it's about him kind of going through the grieving process. But he's a particular, in his own particular way. So it's the Ricky Gervais that's very much closer to his stand-up than the sensibility from him in the British Office. So if you're looking for something like that, not a whole, again, 5 hours to get through 2 seasons if you binge from start to finish, not too bad at all. Afterlife on Netflix. It's Afterlife with 2 words.
Sounds a little depressing.
I thought it was, and that's why I had been putting it off. But then a friend of mine recommended it and said it was awesome. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll watch the first one and give it a try. And I got hooked.
Fair enough.
So, okay. We got about just under 2 hours in. So if we want to wrap it up, I am ready to do gentleman's agreement.
I was going to say, can we get a gentleman's agreement in?
Yeah, all right. So let me do this right now. Let me share my screen. All right. So this is the formula.
X plus Y equals Z.
Rather than just leaving it as it is, now that I fixed it, I can try to randomize it again. Go boop. Ooh, that might actually work because there's no one picked themselves.
No, Nick got Nick.
Damn it. All right, we'll do it again.
I got myself.
Damn it. Aha.
Good.
We're good. Okay, so I have Joe. Joe gets me again. Cory gets Danielle. Danielle gets Nick, and Nick gets Cory.
Ah, motherfucker. That doesn't help any.
What do you mean it doesn't help any?
Crunch those.
Because all of this stuff we've already watched.
Crunch those numbers again, Bob.
Why?
Crunch them again, Bob.
Why? What is the problem?
Just crunch them again. Please.
What is the problem?
Because anything he was going to recommend for it, I've already watched. I guarantee that's why.
Oh, is that so? Your relationship has nothing new to offer? You can't come up with something new to recommend to your lady?
No, very codependent. So,
no, you want me to give you some suggestions, dude?
No, just recrunch the numbers.
So, okay, we can see you recrunching. You seriously can't come up with anything, even if you went last.
No, because I want to give you guys something good that like I said, I have another list here of good stuff for you guys to watch.
You don't want to give things to your lady. You don't want to give things to Danielle. That's really what you're talking about.
I can do that any night of the week.
Oh, are we still talking gentleman's agreement? Okay. Nope, Drew myself.
This
Joe, Drew. It's all random, dude.
There. Nope.
Again, we were fine, except that Cory. Oh, we might be good here.
Good. You're good.
All right, I got Cory. Joe got Danielle. Cory gets me. Danielle gets Nick, and Nick gets Joe. Everybody good?
Sounds good.
Yep.
Any complaints? Nick?
I haven't said anything.
I know. That's why I'm asking you.
No, I want you to do it over.
All right.
No, I'm kidding.
Does anybody have anything? Is anybody ready to go then?
I got to think.
I am ready to go.
Okay, go ahead then, Cory.
So I have you, Bob?
Yeah, you got me.
All right.
Can we get off the Excel screen or?
Yeah, I'm blinded here.
Okay, does everybody remember who they got?
I got
Yeah.
Joe.
Who do I have again?
Cool.
Give me.
I know that. I had to remember one name. I'm pretty sure I could do that.
Okay.
Wait, who? I forgot.
Go ahead, Cory, if you're ready.
Okay, so for you, Bob.
Yeah.
On Amazon Prime, there is a documentary on Tool, the band.
Okay, what's it called?
Tool.
The documentary is called Tool.
In Tool fashion, yes, it's called Tool.
Okay. That's all you had to say.
So it's a little lengthy. I think it's a little over about 2.5 hours, but it is it's from the very beginning of even prior to them all the way till present day, and it's fucking spectacular.
All right, I got it. Anybody else?
All the members in Tool.
Anyone else ready to go? If not, I can go because I got Cory.
Go ahead.
All right, Cory, have you your questionable watch with Kill Bill Volume 1? Have you actually followed it up with Kill Bill Volume 2 yet?
I have not watched Volume 2 yet.
Let's do that then.
Volume 2?
Yep.
Let's move.
All right.
You actually have to watch it.
Go fuck yourself. I watched the first one. So
Probably just consult my phone real quick.
All right. So that's fair. Then for Volume 2, when you give me the review, I don't want you to be consulting any fucking notes or anything like that.
I'll just watch it and not take a single fucking note.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not going to remember names or shit because I never can, but I will watch it without taking notes.
All right. That's fair. We're good. Who's up next? Danielle?
I can go. I have Nick.
You got Nick. Yep.
Yep. On Netflix is a documentary about Lady Gaga called No, it's actually really good.
I can't wait.
Hang on. Oh, actually, maybe I'm.
Hey, I got Peter Pan last time, so.
Hey, hang on. Who?
Shut up.
What?
Nick, I will help you out here. I'm going to throw
Cory's
myself under the bus.
Wanted me to watch it.
I was the one that brought it up and made us watch it.
I can never look Cory the same way again.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
it actually, I swear, it's really good. It's called 5'2".
So technically, Nick has now gotten 2 concert films
Nick,
in a row.
I'm not going to watch
It's not a concert.
No, yeah, it has nothing to do with the concert.
Even better, Nick. All talking, no music.
Yeah. And music is that.
Nick, like I said, in just think that I'm the one that originally wanted to watch it, so I will give you that much.
Nick, some of my last picks have been Peter Pan, The Muppet Movie, and Aladdin. So you got nothing to complain about.
Whatever. What do you want? I'm a girl.
Bob had a childhood dream right here. Jesus, give me good child.
Yeah, for a 50-year-old man, it's pretty awesome.
What? I'm 36 years
The
old.
only problem is the one that I've wanted to give away for a while. I have a feeling Joe's probably seen it.
All right, you want to go next then?
And I don't have a backup right now, so we might have to switch.
No switching. I got a good one for Danielle, and she'll like it.
No, because if you've seen it, then I'll give it to Danielle.
Tell me what it is.
The Life of David Gale.
I've never seen it. Never heard of it.
Okay, so we got a winner then. It's at where can he find it?
Well, it'd be very easy for him to say that because Kevin Spacey is the lead actor in it, and I know Joe has gone on about saying he likes Kevin Spacey.
Joe, honestly, have you seen it or not?
I've never seen it. I've never heard of it.
Don't you like Kevin Spacey though, right?
Yeah, I liked it. He was in The Ref. Other than that, I probably couldn't name five other movies he was in.
Okay, The Life of David Gale.
Where can he find it?
I mean, the same place all the rest of us have to find the other bullshit. I mean,
I just had to watch a movie on YouTube, so if I go to
go to
Just Watch, my Just Watch app, let me do a search for it.
Even if I would have seen it, you can't come up with something else. We're all shooting from the hip. I just came up with something in a minute and a half for Danielle.
So have you seen it?
I've never heard of it.
The Life of David Gale. Okay, it looks like you can't stream it for free, but you can pick it up for $4 on Amazon Prime or on.
It's going to happen, so I might as well pick another one.
Vudu or YouTube. You could pay to watch it. It's $4 to rent.
I paid to watch The fucking Professional. I paid to watch the fucking other
Yeah, guys, look at it this way: we're not going out
Paul
to the park
Newman?
spending money. These are times where we're all saving some money overall. So it's $4 to rent. And
Yeah,
by the way, we've been averaging like 3 to 4 weeks before we do the turnaround on that. So you've got time. I mean,
and how much money would you have spent on the dartboard per week?
Yeah, that's true.
That is irrelevant.
That's not irrelevant at all.
That is irrelevant.
That is absolutely relevant.
No, you know what? I have seen it. I remember.
He's lying.
Any movie that you've ever had to pay for, I've seen.
All right, so Life of David Gale.
Yep.
Which leaves you, Joe, right? You got.
Has anyone here seen that?
I have not. No. I've seen a ton of Kevin Spacey films. I've never seen that one.
Wow.
All right, so Joe, you got Danielle. Do you have a pick for her?
Yeah, Danielle, do you have Disney Plus?
I do.
You do. Okay. My brother said that this was on there. This is another one from our childhood. It's called Shipwrecked.
Ooh, that's a good movie.
Okay.
Real Burns in it. I love that movie, and that's when Disney actually took a shot and made good movies instead of just kid shit. So it's called Shipwreck.
Right.
It's a great movie. I think they're
Okay.
Swedish actors. Oh, have you seen it or no?
No,
No?
never seen it.
It's a really good movie.
You already scored a big one because Disney is her wheelhouse. So
Well, that's what I figured. I'll give her an easy one. And you don't have to listen to it loud.
Okay. Good to know.
Fuck that. Give her the last waltz.
you know it's kind of funny. I actually Danielle went to bed the other night, and that popped up on Amazon Prime, and I almost did watch it on my own. But I was like, yeah, no, don't have the speaker set up here for it because Joe only would recommend someone watching it loud. So.
At the beginning of the movie, it's not me. I'm just forwarding what the band tells you to do.
Phil keeps sending text or
Yeah, I see the thread there.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily making 100% sense. So okay.
Maynard.
All right. So we have finished Elman's agreement. Everybody's got a pick. We've got our assignments. I don't know what everybody's week is going to look like next week, but try to make the best effort you can to watch what you're supposed to watch, and we'll come back again this time next weekend. And ladies and gentlemen, I think that we have come to the end of episode 72. Nods all around. So, all right, hold on.
What is happening?
Bill is sharing his screen, which you need to stop him from doing.
All right. Well, let's
Just until we sign off.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Cory.
I got you.
There you go. Okay. All right. So let's bring this to a close. So for Schnozzcast, this is Bob signing off. Nick.
Have a good night, everybody.
Joe.
Good night. I'm tired. Got work tomorrow.
Cory.
Good night.
Danielle.
See you later.
And we'll say goodbye from, I think the message from Phil Anton is all y'all. Bye-bye.